All right, good afternoon. We appreciate all of you coming this afternoon. Obviously, with the impending storm, we wanted to make sure that all of the public, press, and our businesses and citizens were aware of what was going on in Chatham County as we know it, and obviously things change hour by hour and minute by minute. It's something anytime we have a storm or issues, the Board of Commissioners, all of our municipalities want to make sure that we keep everyone informed, but also make sure that we keep people safe. And that's what it's about. The one thing I would say first is just, this is the season for storms, is to make sure that you individually are prepared. It appears that we're in a better situation than we were even yesterday. Our prayers and thoughts go out right now as it's understanding, as a past and family in North Carolina. Obviously, our prayers were North Carolina and northern South Carolina and Virginia. So that's always, a concern. I know personally it is to me, and talking to my parents and all of my family on the Outer Banks. Obviously, to families and property here in Chatham County, we have not only Chatham County, all of our municipalities, the Chatham County Emergency Management Agency, and I'm going to turn it over to Dennis Jones in just a moment. We had meetings the end of the week. We had meetings yesterday at Botanical Gardens, all the command staff, from sheriff's office to mayors, the chairman, talking about what our plans are. You need to still consider always things can change. And looking at the information we have at the time, obviously the news is better for us. But at this time, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Dennis Jones, our SEMA director, and talk to you about recent updated information as it relates directly with Chatham County and our municipality. So, Dennis, if you would.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I want to give you kind of a brief overview of what we've done, where we are, and where we're going as far as Chatham County goes. Right now, Hurricane Florence is a Category 4 storm. It's got 115-mile-an-hour winds. It's a very strong Category 4 storm. It is right now projected to affect the North Carolina coast. Over the past several advisories, Chatham County has been on either the edge of the advisory or just outside of the error cone, and which has been favorable for us. We started watching this storm on Friday. We went into operating condition 4 on Friday, and we started activating our EOC at that time. We activate our EOC during the daylight hours, and we were able to get in touch with a lot of our community partners throughout the weekend. Some of the other activities we did throughout the weekend, we kept monitoring with the National Weather Service and also with the National Hurricane Center. We kept our partners informed through conference calls and direct communications one-on-one, either in person or by phone. We've also reached out to our regional partners, not only in Georgia, but also in South Carolina. We've been in constant contact with the State Emergency Management Agency. We've been in constant contact with the National Weather Service, and I mentioned the National Hurricane Center. We've been actively distributing information throughout the weekend, multiple times throughout the day. We've had an active presence on social media, responding to questions through social media outlets. We've fielded a lot of phone calls, and as Mr. Smith mentioned, we've had 3 meetings with our command policy group. 1 was in person, 2 were by conference call. As of what we see right now with the 11 o'clock advisory, Chatham County is out of the error cone. It's actually it's actually 3 counties into South Carolina. So with every advisory, we see that it adjusts just a little bit more. As of right now, based on the 11 o'clock, we don't anticipate any significant issues from Hurricane Florence. Of course, that changes with every advisory. So the next one will come out at 5 p.m. We'll do those same analysis at that time. We'll do the same decision-making at that time. And we'll convene the command policy group if we need to in order to give them the best information that we have at the time. All of our partners are ready to move to the next step if we're required to do that. We've taken a lot of effort over the weekend and today to make sure all of our partners have all their resources in place, they have all their preparedness efforts finalized, and they're ready to move to the next level if we need to do that. We are continuing to disseminate information. Our EOC will continue to be activated during the daylight hours. We'll continue to monitor it from remote locations at night. We'll continue sending out press releases and other information to the media and also the general public. We're disseminating information through our SEMA Alert email group. It's a new text messaging feature that we have. It also sends to emails, so we're utilizing that. Our message right now is to be prepared. If you don't already have a disaster kit, we encourage you to go find a checklist in order to build one, put it together. You've got it if this storm happens to come this way. If it doesn't come this way, then you've got an emergency kit that you can store away in a closet, and it's available to you for the next time. We also encourage all families and businesses to have a communications plan. Know how you're going to get in touch with your employees. Know how you're going to get in touch with your families if in the event that we do have a major emergency here. So go ahead and put those things together now. If you can do that, we'll be a much more resilient community. I do have a few statements from several partners they asked me to pass on. As far as the airport goes, the executive director, Greg Kelly from the airport will remain in operating condition 4. They also recommend that anyone with air travel plans in the affected area, South Carolina, North Carolina, to check with their airlines to verify flight times and schedules. From Tybee Island, he's offering a word of caution. They have a rip current statement that's in place, and anytime there's a strong rip current, they encourage people to stay out of the water until the storm passes. So he is encouraging all residents, if you do happen to visit Tybee, and those residents who are on Tybee, stay out of the water due to the strong rip currents. Chatham County Public Schools, as of the last advisory, there's no indication of a need to alter tomorrow's school schedule. The school system is a member of the Command Policy Group. They will continue to monitor the situation, and they'll advise staff, students, and also employees and parents of any changes in the school schedule. But as of right now, there's no alter to the school schedule for tomorrow. Okay. So again, our current activities is we will remain activated in the Emergency Operations Center. We'll continue to staff that during the daylight hours. We'll monitor the storm from remote locations. We'll continue to reach out to partners. We'll continue to keep the Command Policy Group engaged, make sure they have the latest and greatest information at any given time that the storm changes, and we will react accordingly. All partners are ready to go, and as a community, I think we are ready if we have to go to the next step. Okay, at this time, I'll take any questions unless you guys have any.
Dennis, what does it mean that the airport is in OPCON 4? Does that change anything?
No, it doesn't. OPCON 4 is similar to our OPCON 4. They're in an advanced stage of readiness. They are actively monitoring the situation and ready to move to another stage if the county moves or if they see something that is affecting them specifically.
Not really at this time. I mean, it's something that we obviously monitor, like floodgates, they'll be checking those on some of the larger canals to make sure they're in operation, but that's something we normally do preseason anyway. But, when you get to this point, we would, if we've had any complaints or something, we'll go take a look at those critical areas, but really nothing other than the large canals right now.
Any other questions?
Dennis, if things keep tracking the way they are now, I know you said no significant impacts would be expected. People, do you think, notice at all that there was something going on here? Will you see anything, wind gusts, rain, heavy?
We do have the probability to get some wind here. With every advisory that comes out, there are percentages that are associated with that particular advisory. So we do still have some percentages of tropical storm force winds for Chatham County. They decrease, as the advisories continue, they decrease. So there is still a chance, and obviously there's always a chance with rainfall, the precipitation associated with a tropical storm. As of right now, though, what we're looking at with the 11 o'clock advisory is maybe some strong winds, not quite tropical in force, and some heavy rainfall, but typical thunderstorm associated with a normal event that occurs in Chatham County on a regular basis. We do have a high tide cycle that's coming up over the week, and it's not associated with With Florence, it is a normal high tide cycle, so some people may see coastal flooding. We have been under a coastal flood advisory. Again, that's not associated with Florence. Florence may have some impact on that by increased wave height, and also it may exacerbate some flooding in some areas. But again, it's a normal sequence that happens for us on a regular tide cycle, and it's not really affiliated with that storm. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
All right, we appreciate it, and we'll keep you updated as things change. We don't see really the necessity to have regular conferences unless there are substantial changes, and if so, our public information officer along the scene will be in contact with you. And just ask people again, as Dennis said, to be prepared as always. And to look at our checklist, you can go to SEMA or the county's website and look at checklist. But if you're going to do anything, you need to do that now, as always, preparing for the season. So with that, hope everybody's safe. And as always, our prayers go out to those that are going to be impacted. So thank you.